I grew up without much money, and sometimes we would go hungry. Like, you know, it was just like we just didn't have any money. And so I think for me, it was that feeling. Like it would cause me to be anxious, and I would get very scared. And it would like bring me back to how I felt when I was younger. And so I think that was a really, you know, that was like a really big part of why it was so hard for me to lose weight for so long. Alrighty, guys, gals, non-binary pals, very, very excited about today's video. I think it's a very, very good one. But before we get into the topic, I want to say if you would love to join these lovely people here in the chat, we would love to have you. I stream on Twitch every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't listen to anyone in the chat that's saying that they're being held against their will. They are allowed to leave at any time, and they choose to spend time with me, all right? But I'd love to have you again, Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There'll be a link. It's completely free to join. I'm not asking you to give me money or anything like that, I promise. All right, so the video that we are going to be talking about is from the YouTuber Alan Thrall, who a lot of you guys might not actually know, but Alan he's a YouTuber. He's been making videos, mainly like strength-based videos. He's like a strongman. He's been making these types of videos for a very, very long time. And I've actually been a fan of his for a very, very long time. And he has kind of gone through different, he's been like a little bit heavier, a little bit leaner. He kind of, you know, he loses weight, he gains weight, usually in the name of sport for him. And he did a video talking about his diet. And so what we're going to be doing is going over what he has to say, because he drops a lot of really good nuggets in this video. So that's what we're going to be doing. So the name of this video is called Responding to Comments About My Diet. I actually watched it and I left a comment. I said, really solid practical advice. So this is one that I've already seen, but here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm Alan Thrall, and today I don't have a microphone. Whatever, we're doing it live. So this video, I'm going to be responding to some comments that were posted on a recent Instagram post, one of my Instagram posts, about my diet. This all started with this Apple Watch. I got this Apple Watch and I was excited to track my daily steps. So after 1 week, I posted my daily steps on Instagram. It was just over 18,000 steps a day for that week. And some comments and some DMs were saying, man, you must be eating a ton of food just to keep up with all that walking you're doing on top of the weight training that you do. And my response was, no, not really. I'm not eating that much food.
So this is one of the things that when it comes to posting about your diet, posting about what you're doing online, it is like the people that respond are always the people that are going to say something negative or have some sort of opinion, right? And so it's like, there are probably people like, you're walking too much or you're not eating. Trust me, I've dealt with it. That's why I don't do full day of eating videos very much anymore, because whenever I do, I'm like, I know that I'm just opening myself up for everyone that's decided they know what's better for me. And it's very frustrating.
So I decided to track for 1 day what I eat on a typical day, and I posted that on Instagram. I'll quickly cover what that was here for those of you who do not have Instagram. In the morning, it's a big bowl of oatmeal, bananas, blueberries, raisins, brown sugar, cinnamon, 3 hard-boiled eggs, and a cup of black coffee. For lunch, I'll have a turkey or a chicken breast sandwich. It's not lunch meat. It'll usually be sliced turkey or chicken breast, which I don't think it makes a difference by calories.
I love sandwiches so much.
Cheese, avocado, lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, carrots, an apple, and a yogurt.
So what I like about what he's showing so far, it's all very simple stuff. Nothing super fancy, right? That's something that I love, because whenever I make full day of eatings, I try to make it very clear, like, you don't have to be fancy if you want to lose weight or be healthy. And this is like something that I truly believe, and this is what, you know, we're seeing so far here as well.
And then I'll have a no calorie, bubbly, sparkling water drink. And for dinner, I'll have a piece of meat. For this night, it was a pork chop. I don't have pork chops often, but I just happened to on this day. Green beans, usually broccoli or Brussels sprouts or a salad, and a carbohydrate. So either rice on this night, pasta, or potatoes. And I'll have a tall glass of whole milk. So that's the diet. Let's get to some of the comments. First up is comments about trend. So I said that I, on my daily Totals, I have 200 milligrams of trenbolone acetate. Anytime that I make a comment about using steroids or having used steroids or thinking about using steroids is a joke. I've never used anabolic steroids,
Yeah. Likely story.
hormones, SARMs, nothing. And I plan on never using it. The only supplements that I've used would be whey protein, casein protein, pre-workout, and creatine. All of which I don't use currently and I haven't used in quite a while. But I've used those supplements in the past. So anytime that I make a comment about using steroids, it's a joke. Also on this trenbolone thing, Google tells me the average dosage of trenbolone is 100 milligrams a week up to a higher end of like 300 milligrams a week. So if I was using 200 milligrams of tren a day, I don't even know what that would do.
You die probably.
All right, I'm looking through his comments and I can't find it, but there was a comment or two about the amount of protein I was eating in a day. My daily total only came out to 163.5 grams of protein per day. Now I weigh 200 pounds, 199 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall. So the comments or the questions were, aren't you concerned with the low amount of protein you're getting? So 165 grams of protein per day. I weigh 200. Should be getting 200 grams of protein per day if I'm getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight.
So it's interesting that he brought this up because the number that I've actually heard the most is usually 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass, which is different than your body weight, right? Because your body weight takes into account everything. Lean body mass is more like muscle and stuff like that. And so I would say that I don't know what his lean body mass would be, but it would probably be like 180-ish, and he's like not that far under that. But even so, like being a few grams off of protein, it's just so funny how like everyone gets so caught up in like it has to be the perfect numbers, and it does not need to be that specific. And if you are stressing out about being that specific, I'm telling you, you're stressing out for no reason.
So let's see, 35 grams of protein short. A scoop of whey protein is about 25 grams. So we'll say 35 grams. It's like a scoop and a half of protein. Bro, can you imagine if I was taking a scoop and a half more whey protein a day? How freaking jacked I would be? Can you imagine this scoop and a half of protein per day? How many world records would be falling beneath my name? I'll bet that if I was getting that scoop and a half of protein, that's what would take me over the top, dude. I'd be making so much money. Girls would be lining up to be with me if I was getting that scoop and a half of protein per day.
It's true. You'd probably be able to learn how to fly. You'd probably be able to start sprinting like really fast. Like all of that scoop and a half of protein, the fact that you're missing it is literally, it's everything. Like you are missing out because of that scoop and a half of protein, all right?
I think it's easy to fall into the trap of worrying about minor details. So we're worried about this, and we should be focusing on this.
So this is like, I was talking about this earlier in the stream, but this is something that is so common in any type of fitness and like nutrition and weight loss space. It is so unbelievably common for people. I like to talk about a pyramid, right? So people look at this pyramid and they start focusing on the very tippy top of the pyramid before they even have the base figured out or the base built, right? So many people because like the top of the pyramid is like the sexy stuff that's kind of fun to mess with, and it's like, oh, like all this stuff that people like to talk about. No one likes to talk about the base of the pyramid. Like that's not fun, that's not cool. Like people like to talk about how tall is this pyramid, right? That's what people care about, not how great is the foundation. But I'm telling you right now, that pyramid ain't gonna make it to the top if that foundation is shaky, right? It's gonna fall apart. And so like it's so frustrating when you can just see people focusing on this stuff at the top when they have not had the base of it figured out yet.
The bigger picture. I don't stress about getting a gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. Yes, how you doing? Next patient here, Mr. Thrall. Yeah, how you doing? So it says here you're weight training 4 to 5 days per week. You're meeting the guidelines for cardiovascular activity. It says you like to ride your bike a lot of places. You do lots of walking every day. Okay, you've got a healthy amount of lean body mass, healthy body fat percentage. Looks like you're eating a decent amount of calories per day, whole foods. Don't have high blood pressure. Yeah, looks like you're getting good sleep every night. You don't smoke, you don't use tobacco products. You have between 0 and 2 beers per week. Good state of mental health. Looks like you maintain good relationship with friends and family. Ho, 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 hold on here. Are you seeing this? Hold on. You're only getting 165 grams of protein a day? Bro, you are missing out. You're gonna need some serious intervention here. I'm not sure what to do about this. There is a lot of things that we...
So Alan's always has skits in his videos. They're always pretty good. But that's exactly what I was just explaining, right? In a funnier way. But it's like they're focusing on these little things. If your base is good, like you're gonna be okay, you know?
We could be doing better if we look at the big picture. So don't stress about the minor details of I've got to get a gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. If you're overeating your calories and significantly under eating grams of protein, yeah, sure, then we can switch some things around. But if you're trying to lose some weight and your calories are in check, but your protein is a little bit less than a gram per pound of body weight, it's not a huge deal. And in fact, some people make the mistake of seeing that they're under on protein and then trying to eat more protein in order to meet that requirement, but only end up overeating calories because protein...
Dude, this right here is so common, especially people that get into tracking and they're new to tracking macros. People get, again, what calories are king, right? Calories are if you're trying to lose weight, calories are the most important thing. So if you start eating extra calories because you're not hitting your protein goals, but now you are eating more calories than you should, are you going to lose weight? No. It doesn't matter that it's protein. You're not going to lose weight because now you are over in the amount of calories that you should be eating. So again, it's focusing on these little things when you haven't focused on the base, on the foundation, right?
Protein usually comes with calories. So if you're under on protein for the day, you don't need to smash a whole bag of beef jerky just to get your protein up. Just call it a day and stop eating. If I'm overweight, carrying a lot of body fat, I live a sedentary lifestyle, I've got high blood pressure, I'm not meeting any cardiovascular requirements or activity throughout the week, but I'm smashing 225 grams of protein per day. It doesn't matter. I don't really care about that.
Per day, baby.
There are a whole bunch of other things that I could change in order to be healthier or whatever. Next, there were quite a few comments about the decaf coffee. So yes, I drink decaf coffee every morning. I don't drink caffeine other than once per week I'll have a big cup of coffee, caffeinated coffee. But other than that, I drink decaf coffee. And there are a lot of people that are surprised by this. Not everyone drinks caffeine. It's like when people say, yeah, I don't drink energy drinks or caffeine. Other people say, well, what do you do? What do you drink? Not everyone drinks caffeine. I have been drinking decaf coffee for several months now. I don't know the exact time, but the reason I've cut caffeine out of my diet is years ago, back when I was in the Marine Corps and I started getting more serious about powerlifting, I started going to GNC and buying a whole bunch of supplements. I buy pre-workouts, a bunch of protein powders, and I started drinking a lot more caffeine, which I had never done prior to that.
So this is like a story that he talks about how why he decided to cut out caffeine. It's not really integral to weight loss, so we're gonna skip it a little bit. But I highly recommend that you check out the whole video if that's something that you're interested in. I cut out caffeine a little bit last year for about 6 to 7 months, helped with my anxiety and stuff like that. So maybe something that I need to do again. But again, it's not important to what I want to talk about, so we're gonna skip it. I hope you guys understand.
Buy on such a little amount of food. I can't eat, some of the comments, I can't even imagine trying to get by on this amount of food. I struggle to comprehend eating this amount of food. So, admittedly, there are quite...
This is something that you deal with whenever you share your diet and how many calories you're eating. There's always going to be people, it's almost like people get upset because they're like, I am mad that I can't eat that much, or I can't believe that you're eating that little amount, right? Like there's always going to be people that they just compare it to themselves when it's like, yo, we are all living very different lives. We are all very different sizes, and we all require very different things. But I just know exactly how he's feeling here.
Quite a few things I can do to stretch out my calories so that I'm eating more food. For example, for breakfast, I make my oatmeal with whole milk. I could make it with fat-free milk or with water, which is pretty much the same thing. I use brown sugar as a sweetener in my oatmeal. I could use a no-calorie sweetener. I eat the egg yolks in my eggs. I don't just eat egg whites, mainly because I think it's wasteful to throw away egg yolks, and I don't want to buy a carton of egg whites and cook those every morning. So there's a few things. For lunch, I put avocado and cheese on my sandwich, which adds a good amount of calories. The yogurt that I eat is full fat yogurt. I could eat non-fat yogurt, but get this. So the other day I was comparing the full fat yogurt with a non-fat yogurt, and the calories for the serving size was the exact same. Serving size the same, calories the same, because they put extra sugar in the no fat yogurt. So just be aware of that just because it's no fat doesn't mean that it's less calories. I'm not saying that's the situation all the time, but it's just something I noticed. But yeah.
Yeah, got to be careful of those buzzwords. Just check the back. Just check the back.
I could eat zero fat, no fat yogurt, and it'd most likely be less calories. And then for dinner, I had green beans that were cooked in olive oil, which I did account for in the calories. I could instead have some broccoli, the steamed broccoli, which is going to be more food. And then I drink whole milk just because I really like it. That's a few hundred calories right there for that big glass. So there are some things that I could do to stretch out my meals to make them a little bit bigger. But with that said, it's still a decent amount of food. Maybe it's us as Americans who just think that every meal needs to be this party platter of appetizer, entree, dessert. Not every day needs to be Thanksgiving Day.
I agree with that, and I think a lot of people, we get used to seeing these, like, especially people that are like posting about like their healthy meals. They are usually they're trying to make as much volume as possible. Well, there's nothing wrong with having a lot of volume, right? But again, I'm not the biggest fan of keto, but when you see someone that's like eating keto, a lot of times there's not much volume, but because fat's a little bit more satiating, you don't need as much volume to maybe feel full. But again, it's like so many people get so caught up in like the amount of food, and for some people that's really helpful, right? Like for me, I like to have I like volume. I like eating a lot of food. Like that's something that I enjoy. But for some people, they don't really need that volume. That's not something that really matters to them. So they can get by on having a little bit more fat, not worrying about having as much volume, and that works great for them as well, right? The whole thing is find what works for you and stick to that, right? He's obviously found what works for him. I've found what works for me, and I think more people need to find what works for them.
Here I am eating 1,000 calories for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we're looking at this saying, I can't imagine trying to scrape by on that little amount of food.
For just $1 a day, you can help this starving California resident who scrapes by every morning with a big-ass bowl of oatmeal, a small plate full of eggs, brown sugar, cinnamon, fresh blueberries, and a banana. This poor thing doesn't even eat food between breakfast and lunch. And for lunch, he manages to get by with an 800-calorie turkey sandwich without ever complaining.
I think that if you're currently eating...
And like, I think so many people, especially with dudes, something I've noticed is it's almost like the more food you're able to eat, it's like this sort of battle, like you have this like medal or something. It's like I can eat more food and lose weight. And it's like, okay, that's great. Why does someone that's eating he's eating 3,000 calories around that? It's not like he's eating nothing, but people just like to feel like they're better, right? So it's like, I'm better because I'm eating more calories, which I think is a little ridiculous, but I'm telling you, that's why people are leaving those comments.
Eating this much food every meal, you don't need to chop it down immediately to the amount of food that I'm eating or whatever. You can just make your portions smaller, and over time you'll get used to these portion sizes I know that I had to, and maybe it'll help you. I went with, when I was starting to lose weight, I went with a rough, I guess, rule or template that I followed of 1 carbohydrate and 1 protein per meal. Fruits and vegetables, just kind of eat it however. So for dinner, I would eat meatballs and pasta and a salad. That's it. Protein, carb, and vegetable. Not meatballs, pasta, salad, and half a loaf of garlic bread. Or for lunch, I'd have a turkey sandwich with some vegetables and an apple.
So I like this because, again, it's sharing a template of being able to lose weight without, because so many people, they message me all the time like, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to track, right? I think so many people have gotten caught up in seeing everyone tracking, which, again, there's nothing wrong with tracking, but you almost feel like you have to track to lose weight. But the fact of the matter is, until a few years ago, no one tracked, right? Everyone lost weight by just making smarter decisions. And it's like, it's these decisions that I feel like people overthink it. It's like, just think to yourself, is it good? Will it be helpful to have rice or pasta, meatballs, garlic bread, some soda, and a salad? Or do you think you'll still be okay if you maybe cut out the garlic bread and the soda and eat that, right? Like, these little changes that don't have to be this huge, it doesn't have to become this huge thing.
So I've got my turkey, I've got my bread, and I've got my vegetables. Not a turkey sandwich with half a bag of potato chips or a turkey sandwich with some cookies. So doing these things kind of help limit my portion sizes, and I got used to eating less than I was previously. All right, and lastly, there were some questions or comments about hunger. How do you go so long, like 4 or 5 a.m. till 12 or 1 p.m.? How do you go so long between meals without feeling hungry? And I do feel hungry between these meals. But one thing that has really, really helped me, and I've talked about this on some of my older weight loss videos, I had to change my perception of the meaning of hunger. I had to accept the fact that being hungry wasn't a bad thing.
This is really, really good information. So what he goes on to explain here, I think, is really, really important, especially for people like, people that have been like me, that are like very, very overweight. Hunger becomes scary. Like, it might sound crazy to some people that have never been there, but like, being hungry can feel scary at times. And what he explains here, I think, is really, really important. And this is like my favorite part of the video.
I used to associate hunger with something bad. I'm hungry, therefore I'm wasting away. My muscles are eating away at themselves. I've got a big squat session tomorrow and I'm hungry. I'm sabotaging my potential for tomorrow. Or this hunger is going to negatively affect my performance later.
So for me, I think, I know this is kind of getting a little bit deeper than what he just explained, but for me it was, I grew up without much money, and sometimes we would go hungry. Like, it was just like, we just didn't have any money. And so I think for me, it was that feeling. Like, it would cause me to be anxious, and I would get very scared. And it would like bring me back to how I felt when I was younger. And so I think that was a really, that was like a really big part of why it was so hard for me to lose weight for so long.
If I don't get a protein shake in right now, I'm gonna blow away in the wind. I would semi-freak out when I get hungry. I gotta eat right now, I'm getting hungry. And I have come to realize that being hungry is okay. Hunger can be misleading. Hunger is not this on and off switch. Your body needs food, hunger goes on. You eat some food, hunger goes off. It doesn't really work like that. It can be misleading. Here's what I mean. I would say that I'm hungry right now. I could eat right now. I haven't eaten lunch yet. I could go to In-N-Out Burger and get a burger and fries. I could sit down and eat that. And then I could say, I'm still hungry, and eat another burger and french fries. Don't you think that after one burger and french fries, after that 1,000 calories, my body would say, I've eaten food, I have calories, hunger off? No, that's not how it works, because my brain tells me, that tasted really good. That was very rewarding. I enjoyed that. I want to do it again. So I am still hungry. So again, hunger can be misleading. Hunger is not completely...
You know what those are? It's the stomach demons, all right? Y'all need to be careful about them stomach demons, because sometimes they'll work their way up into your brain and then they'll control you. When they get into the control room, that's bad. You need to keep the stomach demons in the stomach, all right? Don't let them get to the brain. It's very important.
Biological. There are psychological and social factors that impact hunger and how hungry you feel or how full you feel. This is the type of stuff that I've learned from all these barbell medicine seminars with regards to pain. Hunger is kind of a similar experience to pain in the sense that there are psychological and social factors that affect how hungry you feel or how full you feel. Here are a few examples. Let's say I eat lunch and then I go to my friend's house and they say, all my friends are eating pizza. Hey Alan, you want some pizza? I'm like, no thanks, I just ate. But as I'm watching them eat and I'm smelling the pizza, it looks so good, and I feel awkward because I'm the only one not eating, I start to get hungry. And I say, you know, I'm getting kind of hungry, I guess I can eat, and I eat pizza. Or on the other side of that, maybe you're hungry on your way to eat some food and you get a phone call with some terrible news, heartbreaking news, and all of a sudden you lose your appetite. Or maybe you are eating dinner on a first date and you have a huge crush on your date, you want to impress them, you're really nervous about the date, you don't want to say anything stupid, you don't want to get food all over your face, so you're really not eating dinner, you're just not that hungry for dinner when you normally are. One really far extreme would be you're in combat, you're in a firefight, and you haven't eaten for a full day. Do you think you're going to be thinking about what's for dinner tonight? My stomach's kind of rumbling, I'm hungry. No, you're thinking about not dying. So anyways, just accepting the fact that hunger is a complex experience, I guess you could say, has made me has put my mind at ease when I do get hungry.
So again, I feel like that's all really, I don't really have much to add to that because I really, really like that a lot. The only thing that I would add to it a little bit is to understand your body and understand the things that satiate you and make you feel satiated longer, right? If you are eating things that aren't satiating you, aren't making you feel full, like if it's like, you know, just you're eating a lot of, you know, kind of like fast burning carbs or whatever, just like carbs in general, or your diet isn't really balanced at all, a lot of times you'll eat and then you'll feel like you're pretty hungry after the fact, right? Again, like what he said, you don't have to let that control you, but you can also play around with things, maybe add a little bit more fat into your diet, maybe have a little bit more protein. Again, you don't have to get all super crazy and be like, I have to eat 220 grams of protein, and if I don't hit it, it's like the end of the world. But again, like you have the option of playing around with the types of foods you are eating to hopefully make you feel a little bit full, so you're not feeling quote unquote hungry like, you know, 30 minutes after you're done eating. I'm not saying that anything he's saying is wrong. It's not, but I'm just saying there's also that option that you can kind of play around with things and find what works for you as well.
I don't freak out and catastrophize and be dramatic and say, oh, I'm hungry, I'm losing all my gains, I need to go eat. I just make note of it and I say, okay, I'm hungry, I'm looking forward to lunch, and then I move on with my day. Because stressing about being hungry is probably doing more harm than just being hungry for an hour or so later. Now, I don't want this to come off as, if you're hungry, just shut up and suck it up. I know that hunger is very, very strong, and I am not saying no pain, no gain, no hunger, no gain. If you're hungry, just suck it up. How hungry you feel is going to determine how well you can adhere to a new diet plan.
I really like that he brings this up because I feel like a lot of people might just say what he said and then be like, all right, see you later. And like, again, that can be dangerous, right? You don't want people to think that, okay, I just need to be hungry, because trust me, like when I was struggling with BED and binge eating, like I felt like I always had to be hungry. And I remember I got to a point where it was like, if I didn't feel hungry, I felt like I was a failure, because I just felt like hunger means I'm losing weight. Like that's where my mind went. It was like, how hungry can I make myself and still function? Like that's literally what I would do, right? So it's dangerous. And I'm not saying this is all, like losing weight is simple, right? Calories in, calories out, but that doesn't mean that it's easy. And this stuff can be very complicated and it can be very hard for different people, right? And so I don't want to make it seem like it's like, oh, simple, you know? But again, like this is just another way to look at things. And I think that it's really interesting.
Or a diet adjustment. So if someone was eating 6,000 calories a day and they wanted to lose some weight, I wouldn't prescribe 2,000 calories right off the bat, because they would be very hungry, making them less likely to stick to this diet or adhere to it. We might drop it down to 5,500 or 5,000. So there's less hunger, which is going to mean you are more likely to stick to your diet plan.
And that's what I always say, right? There's no reason to go from 0 to 100. If you're eating 6,000 calories, you can lose weight on eating 5,000 calories, right? Like you can. You definitely can, right? And so you don't need to go from 6,000 straight to, 2,000 because you're going to be really freaking hungry. And so you're just going to you're going to make it so much harder than it needs to be for yourself. That's why I'm not a huge fan of going from 0 to 100. Why I'm a fan of slowly chipping away at this thing.
And if you're eating foods that are more filling for the same amount of calories, you're going to be less hungry. All of these things are good. I'm not saying you need to just ignore hunger. All I'm saying is, in my experience since weight loss, I've just kind of changed my view of hunger. That it's not a threat, it's not bad. I also rest assured that I know when I eat. I eat 1,000 calories, 800, whatever, in the morning. And then I know I'm going to eat again at lunch. I know I'm going to eat again at dinner. So I don't have to worry or...
This is one of the reasons why, for me, routine helps so much. Because if you know, like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to eat at 2 p.m. and it's like 1 and you're hungry, it's like you can just... it's going to be okay, I know that I have this meal. I know that I have this food. And it helps you stay at ease a little bit.
Catastrophize and say, oh, no, I'm hungry. I don't have to worry about going out on a hunt tonight and hopefully catching something for my family, because if I don't, we're gonna have to go another day without eating. I don't have to worry. I hope that I panhandle enough money tonight that I can get something to eat. I know my meals are coming, so I can stay calm, stay cool and collected when I do get hungry and not freak out about it. That's helped me cope with being a little bit hungry throughout the day as I have lost weight. It's definitely taken some time to get used to, but just kind of thinking about the meaning of these things has really helped me a lot. I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and always remember, tread on time.
But like I said, all in all, a really, really great video. And I think that this video, him reaching out to, people that are, because a lot of his videos are more for people that are into strength sports, obviously, right? People that are into strongman, people that are like into lifting as much as possible. So losing weight comes with maybe losing a little bit of strength, which is hard for people. So he obviously is more based in that. But the thing that at the end of the day, his advice is good advice for anyone, right? The reason is because weight loss advice doesn't change based on who you're talking to, right? Like, doing sustainable things, not going overboard, not freaking out, all of these things work for everyone. That doesn't matter who it is, the type of person that you're giving this information to, right? But yeah, I thought it was a great video, and I just wanted to share it with y'all.